What's going on, guys? No, you didn't read that wrong. We're finally having a Master Grade Monday in 2017. Okay, so I missed a few. Sue me. Sorry. I basically had a whole bunch of HG builds already in the works. So I finally got to a Master Grade, as you guys know, that I've been wanting to do for a while. And that is, of course, the Gundam AGE2 Special Forces version. And this thing is so cool, guys. First of all, P Bandai coloring, so you're not actually going colorblind, and I didn't change it. So, as we saw in the unboxing, this box is a little bit worse for wear. I guess it got a little banged up and maybe even a little wet at some point before I got it. Excuse my sniffling. It's been bad weather lately. So, here you got a great shot of the H2. It's basically the same box you would get with the normal H2, but they changed the coloring. It's usual with the P Bandai. So you got the H2 in robot mode, H2 in flyer mode. I forgot what it's actually technically called, but it's okay. You got a nice little image of younger Asumu there. You got the Master Grade image way up here, Bandai down there. And then this cool thing here, Gundam Age Unknown Soldiers. I don't actually know exactly what that is, but I guess it has something to do with the P Bandai line. I don't know. It's coming to this side of the box, it's a repeat of the top. On this side of the box, it's a repeat of the top. Come to this side of the box, it's a repeat of the top, but you get some product images. This P Bandai box, guys, for the most part, they don't do extra stuff on P Bandai boxes. So this will be a very, very short end of the box review. Oh wait, BandaiHobby.net. Yay! What year is this from? Hold on, let me look. It is from 2013. Wow. And roughly should have only been 4,200 yen, but of course after markup and blah 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 blah, it was $100. And the illustration is by Yamamoto Hiroyuki, Yam2. Okay, and character illustration by Takao Maki. So that's pretty awesome. But we're not here for the box, are we, guys? We want to see everything else that goes in the box. So let's go ahead and look at that. Alright guys, now that we've got that build montage done, and man, that was a long one for me to have to do. Master grades take a while to build, guys. This guy is beautiful. Look at this, just all the shades of white and not white. It's great. This is always my favorite version of the AGE2, just because of the coloring. The original AGE2 with the blues and everything like that, it's okay. But this is superior. It just is so much cooler. Now, before we really get into the actual Gundam, I want to go ahead and look at some of the accessories, because there are quite a few off to the side. So, just like with the AGE1, you get a couple mini stubby sabers like that. You get a couple full-size beamies. Yay, slash slash. Now, I do think that his beam sabers are double-ended, so you could do a short and long, whatever. But these are cool. I'm glad I have some replacements, since I seem to have misplaced the first ones. Now, the one thing this guy comes with more than stickers, okay, that's a lie, is the hands. All of the hands. Just look. There's like 8 pair. Okay, not 8 pair, 4 pair. So you've got open, expressive hands, if it'll focus. Focus. And I did a little bit of paint work on there, painting the fingers and the joints. You get just a basic holding hand. Oh, dropped it. Where'd it go? You get a little bit basic holding hand for like the beam sabers and stuff. Yay. You get these special hands, which we will get to when we get to transformation. So I gotta set those off to the side. You get just a basic fist. Real simple. And you get trigger finger. Now, the cool thing is they give you a trigger finger for both hands. They give you all the same of both hands. So they actually will allow you to swap them out. And they just swap in and out via that peg right there. And the thumbs are always attached. Yay for thumbs up. Alright, just wanted that out of the way so we could get to the big guy himself. Oh yeah, master grade. Gotta raise a camera up a little bit. So this thing is great. Now this thing does have a ton of stickers and detail work. So you get a combination of normal little decals like that one right there. And you get dry transfers like this guy here. And all the ones down the leg like these. I was actually doing just stickers for about 2.5 hours last night. I was up late trying to get it done, and man, it took a while. But the ones I like the best probably are these right here, which I used to hate on the original. They just look so much better on this one. Still have the same problems, but I'll get to that in a minute. But this thing is great. The only thing I have to be a little bit wary of is to not run my fingers over the dry transfers, just so I don't mar them up. I do love this one here with the actual Special Forces and the wolf logo. That's so great. You get the ones here. You got the big stripies right there across the shoulders. You get a little stripe effect down here. I kind of need to trim that edge off. Come to the back, and you get the big old butt skirt, and I love the EFF logo there. You get a couple extra cautions down the side. The actual age emblem right there, because technically I guess the age system goes from here all the way through the front. So the details on this thing are really fun. I did a little bit of paint work, not a lot, just a couple details here and there, and added some, my favorite is dark gray every now and then. So it's going to be hard to see, but right in there, just the center of those vents is a little bit of dark gray. Like I said, hard to see, but it's there. Actually, back here, right in the center of that, some dark gray. Same thing with right here. And I did it on the hands as well, if you get to see it. Like I said, just painted that little bit of detail there to break up the gray. I like it. I think it's good. Did it on the normal hands as well. And later on, whenever I get into articulation, you'll see a tiny bit of paint work I experimented with, but wasn't happy with. Now, I love this head sculpt. Now, even though the eyes and all of these parts up here are actually translucent plastic, I went ahead and used the foil stickers for those. It just makes it pop. They give you some really bright chrome stickers that you can put on there to make it kind of shine on its own. Kind of like how the A does for the, see like that? You could do that with the eyes, but this just looks better with the foil stickers. Now, the actual face, it's a little hard to put the eyes on. You have to put them on individually. And I recall the very first time I did it, they were wonky. I had to take the whole head apart because it was not looking the same direction. You know, not to make fun of anybody, but it definitely had at least one lazy eye, and it was bad. But yeah, I love the details on this thing. There's a couple major flaws with it, but it's all pretty much down to the transformation as to why it has the issues, and they're all in the legs. So we'll get to it when we get to the actual transformation mode. But this thing is cool. You can actually fold that down, and if you can get a finger in here, you can actually open that up, and the cockpit is like right there. Now, one problem is the cockpit, even though it's supposed to be a up and down slidey gimmick, it does tend to flop down really good when it's in flying mode. And we'll take a look at that once we get there. Now, for the purposes of articulation and everything, I'm going to go ahead and remove the gun, because this thing actually had more articulation than I remembered. Now, one thing that is a pain is getting this particular hand out. You see I had to kind of wiggle it out like that. This is supposed to be a sliding gimmick that allows you to move the bottom part of the gun up and down for multiple reasons, but that was one of the ones that's a pain. So since the gun won't come back for a minute, let's go ahead and take a look at it. It is the Hyper Dodge rifle. As you can tell by the label, it's applied crooked right there. Now this guy does get some paint apps along here on the handle, right through there, and out here on the barrel where it's a little bit rough. It didn't get very thinned out. You do get some stickers right there and right up here. Nice EFF logo. And then had some extra little warning stickers through those in there. And like I said, it does transform slightly. We'll get to that later, but I like this gun, and I like that you have the little plug right here. It does plug into the wrist to be powered, I guess. I love that, but this was one of the problems I had on my original. It's on this little ball joint right here. Come on, focus. And it would flop, like, very badly. So this one is not quite as bad as that one was. So go ahead and get this out of the way. And for the same purpose, we'll go ahead and take the shield off. They both plug in the same way. There's some polycaps in the wrist right there. Now, this guy sometimes just wants to fall over. It's kind of a weakness. And as we already looked at, you have the great EFF/Wolf logo right here. And you do get a nice little warning sticker there. And I just put this one down here just because. Oops, little bitty shield. And then you've got another one right there, and that's it. And of course, this is the plug that plugs into yonder hand. I'll just keep dropping it. Now, compared to the AGE1 shield, this is like nothing. This is an itty bitty shield. Set it off to the side with all the hands. There's just a pile of hands everywhere, guys. Hands on hands on hands. Anyways. Okay, so let's talk articulation. The head can rotate, but not very far because of the collar. So you can get about to there and then wants to hang up. You can force it, but I'm not gonna. It's a lot of thin plastic on the head. You can get an up and down nod. You're not gonna get a funky chicken just by the way it is. Oh wow, I just went totally Dan there. Not a funky chicken, turkey neck. You can get kind of an inquisitive look. Like what? What was that? I like that. Now you do get some movement here in the chest. That's mostly for transformation, but you can do it. These little chesty bits do maneuver, kind of like a 00 kit. It's a very 00 type of chest. I do like that. You do get a nice ball joint separation for the shoulders, so you can really extend them out like so. You can rotate them there, but if you tuck it in, you can actually go all the way around like this. Of course, some of that is for transformation, but it is just part of the articulation as it is. And by the way, the wings are articulated. They totally do this number and raise up like this. Just to reference it, these wings are almost exactly the same as they are on the Lightning Backpack Mark III. They're almost exactly the same. So I feel like that's where they got the idea for that particular backpack, was from this guy. Oh, there's one of the problems right there. You start moving the shoulders around, that piece wants to fall off. It's part of the back armor right there. Alright, so continuing with articulation, we get bicep rotation. We get a nice double jointed elbow, like so. Now, one thing that is a major issue with this kit is the wings are always in the way. Always. And this is a part that I completely forgot about until I put this one together. You do get wrist articulation, so it spins up there. But then it also spins right here. And then you can get... Hold on, so you gotta line it right. Come on, turn around. Then you can also get this kind of motion. Very, very articulated wrist. But it goes one step further. Forearm rotation! Totally forgot this guy had forearm rotation, just like the AGE2 does. That makes a big difference. So if you didn't know it was there, the shield would always be plugged in on the bottom, and that would look stupid. So you can actually rotate this so the shield can be out to the side. Same thing with the gun. You can actually rotate the hand with the gun in it. It's so great, guys. That's something that almost no master grades have. Alright, so we do get a little bit of ab crunch right there. You can go all the way around very carefully, because you're spinning a whole lot of mass here with these wings. These flappy skirts, they move this way. They got it's a ball joint here, but then you also have a total hinge right there. That's all part of transformation. Same thing with the way these wings do move. Flappy skirts. Now, because it's a master grade, those are mounted separately. You don't have to worry about taking them apart. You do get forward movement about that far. You can go back. Let's see. Because that back skirt doesn't move that much. You can go back about that far. Now, of course, the legs are where we start running into articulation problems. But you can get a very good Jean-Claude if you're careful, because I can feel that stressing just a little bit right there. So, yay for doing the splits. And very carefully push that back. It is attached only via polycaps, so that's a little bit difficult. Now, when you come down to the legs, knees, and all that, this is where it gets weird, because you can tell this thing has some really tall legs. It's all part of the transformation gimmick. So you get the knee point that comes out here. This is the other part right here, this little piston. That's what I painted. Honestly, I'm not too happy with it by the way the metallic came out, so I'm glad it's covered up. So you can totally get those knee joints out of the way there. It is a double jointed knee, but it's very wonky. So you get a joint here and a joint down here. So you can get that and then this. So you can get really good leg bend, but you can see why I was holding it that way. It's because it will start doing the thing you don't want it to do and start transforming, which gets everything out of alignment. So you kind of have to have almost a reverse bend right here just to get the knee to line back up. And you'll see this pop out a lot like that, because that's part of the transformation gimmick. It's just a thing you're going to have to bear with, you know, if you're going to have this guy. Now you come below that, you get some nice little ankle armor that moves like so. You can actually pivot it, and it comes out right there. Foot moves a little bit this way, but it has a hinge to go like so. But if you go a little bit lower, hold on, it is a standard like ball joint, and it can wiggle in multitude of directions, just not super far. And then part of the transformation, you get epic toe point. Yay. Now, one thing I will show off, if I can get the light in there. There's the thrusters down in there, and I went ahead and put some dark gray and some silver just to make them pop just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit. Come on. Now, I may have to get out an action base after the transformation just to show it off, but I don't know. There's a couple little gimmicks here. You can grab the shoulder, if I can remember where to grab it, pop it out, and you can rotate the upper part of the shoulder independently. It sort of does a little bit what 00 can do when you're rotating the... oh, that's already pulled out, my bad. So you can get it in poses like this where maybe the wings won't be entirely in the way. But that is a major problem with this kit with articulation. The wings are always a part of the arms. So no matter what the arms are doing, the wings are going with it. So that's usually the really, really annoying part about this guy. Let's see here. pull the shoulder out just a little bit. And you can see here we got a little bit of separation, and that I really don't like that about these, the way those arms connect. But it's a pretty good kit. It does want to fall over a little bit sometimes. Those ankles kind of give out, but it is what it is. It's all part of the transformation gimmick that gets in its own way for the most part. So let me go ahead and rotate that, snap that back into place, snap that back into place. Oh, and the wings, I forgot, the wings are on a rotation hinge or rotation joint right there, so they can spin all the way around realistically, depending on if anything's in our way. So this thing is a very, very elegant and speedy suit. I do love that. Now, before I actually get to it, I wanted to show you guys this. So here's what it takes to, I'm bumping the camera. This is what it takes at this point to get it into flying mode. All of that, plus all of this, and then that. That's roughly 4 pages of transformation gimmick. So if I screw up a little bit, you know, bear with me. It's been a long time since I actually transformed this guy. So let's go ahead and get to the transformation. Now I've already started by pulling out the shoulders. So you see right in there, you see that little tab? That actually holds this whole center section together. So you kind of have to pull that out. But what you need to do, you got to come up here, pull these little flappies here up kind of straight, like so. Now they are on a little bit of a hinge, but they're just clipped in there, so they will pop off if you try too hard, too fast. Okay, so that is set and ready to go. You kind of grab the whole center section, or actually grab the center section and push down on the head at the same time. Oh wait, you gotta make sure that's that way. And then it pops up like that, and the head goes away. Now you can see right here, you can see the pilot's feet. That's not supposed to just happen. Alright, after you've got that done, you tuck the shoulders back in to lock it into place. So that way it doesn't end up flopping around a lot. Okay, gotta take the wings, do this number, straighten out the arms. Make sure that's all tucked away good. Now you gotta rotate. You see you got a lot of hinge right through there. So the whole backside will flop back and knock that stupid piece off again. But then you take the arms and you rotate those as well. So now he's kind of, well, in a flying pose, let's be honest. Okay, now as for these, you flop. And this is where it gets a little dumb because of the multitude of connections here. So you've got the ball joint and you've got the hinge joint. You want to flip the whole thing forward like that. Okay, so the blades are pointed forward. You got to just kind of flip it, flop it, rotate it like so. Got it? Got it. So now he's almost in a weird Superman pose. Now, I forgot about this. Got to take the fingers off, and the hands are going to want to be flat like this, because that's how they will hold on to the back of the legs. You'll see what I'm getting to in a minute. Now the front skirts flop down as they go. Now the legs up inside there, you kind of pull it, and they will unpeg somehow. Come on. Oh, yeah. You gotta, it doesn't, for some reason it's not saying this, but you gotta pull the front out. I forgot about that. Oh, jeez. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, so that's what happens when you do it wrong, guys. Okay. Okay, so we flip that out, flip this up. Now, I don't remember this, honestly, from before. So, it's going to be real hard to see this, but Basically pulled all that apart, and then one tab pegs into that. Now from the previous one I had, I really don't recall that ever being a thing. I mean, I remember pulling the legs out like that, but I don't remember that ever being part of the transformation. Maybe I just don't recall, or maybe they did alter the kit a little bit over the years. I don't know. To be totally honest with you guys, I don't know. And that's not one to line up at all. It's one of the problems. This kit is very finicky with alignments. Okay. So that's like that. So now what you get is a weird splayed out legs. It's crazy, guys. I'm sorry. It just is. Ah, and there went the front balls joint. Come on, skirts. Get back on there, skirts. You gotta have a little bit of patience with it, guys. It's not like a wing Gundam that actually just flips over, rotates, and you bend the legs in a funky manner. Now this, with the legs, is going to be interesting. So this is where those double knees I told you get in the way a little bit. Okay, so you want to bend it at the first knee joint, like so, and then rotate this whole bit out. And then there's a hinge that's hidden right back in there. See, flip that out. Need to do that number, and then all of that ends up collapsing down like so. Isn't that great? Yay. Mind you, that came off a lot easier than it really is. Like that was just way too easy, sorry. Okay. Oh. Yeah, go ahead and do the other knee first. Get that up there. Turn like this. Rotate the weird clippy out of the way, if it will. Come on. Get out of there, buddy. There it is. Come on. Normally they pop out no problem. This time it just wants to be a butt. Okay, so compact leg all the way down like so. And then flip the feet out. So now you've got this mess to deal with. Oh, man. Okay, now. Yep, okay. Now I gotta get those special hands. Sorry, it's off the screen. It is what it is, guys. So now you get these little guys. And I forgot how exactly they go on. I think it's like this. Yeah, so they give you these extra hands. They're entirely not necessary. But what you're going to do, and that whole leg just fell off. Okay, so what you do is you got this little tab right there. It will peg into the hand where the normal fingers and stuff would peg into. So you end up with a streamlined thing like that. Now, unless you've got this problem where the whole friggin' leg fell off again. Okay, so let's try this again with a little more getting it right. Go ahead and get that out of there. Okay. And then peg that one in there. Flush this down. See, look, it just popped right back out. I really hate when they use tiny, tiny amounts of plastic to do this. It really does not instill confidence, guys. Okay. So slide that over the hand. Try to peg hand into leg without everything falling apart. Come on, where is it? Oh, I'm missing. There we go. Oh, dear Lord, that was not easy. Okay, so we're almost there, guys. Now, mind you, every AGE2 variant has to transform like this. The only thing that changes is the shoulders for the most part. Now, see, look, there's Asumu falling out again. There's supposed to be some kind of thing to stop that from happening. It just doesn't do anything. Now, I do believe you come under here and you rotate these wings out for flight mode. He also has kind of a landing gear set up with the knees. So you pull these out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and untab that again because it really, really loves to be untabbed. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to set it down so we can see the next part of the transformation. That's right, next part. Because he has a gun that has to also become the nose of the Gundam. So this does transform. So you've got this whole part right here. It's on a slider and it will just shove into the gun like so. Then you take the handle. Oops. Take the handle, flip it up straight like so. Kind of tilt that back. And then that whole thing slides up in there. Now after this, the AGE hole, or the AGE now has a big hole in it, and that's where the handle goes. It's probably going to scrape off all that nice pretty paint I put on there, but it is what it is. Oh, I think that needs to come down a little bit, but hold on. There we go. There we go. All right. So once again, I'll talk about the landing gear because now the front section that was the handle and all that can come down. You flip up these blades like I had before. And now it's in flight mode and in sitting mode. Wow. Okay. That is a very involved transformation full of lots of tiny parts. Not gonna lie, it's very nerve-wracking getting it done. But you do get a cool looking flight mode. It is very, very, very fiddly, and it wants to fall apart. It's without a doubt wants to fall apart. Especially the legs. The legs are the worst part of this Gundam. Always have been. Now, mind you, I was only trying to accomplish getting a better build. Oh, I'm sorry. I did totally forget something here. Hold on. I forgot to rotate the shoulders down. I forgot that these have to rotate. Yeah, great. They're not going to go now. Watch. So rotate the wings, and then you flip. Oh, it's not going to do it while those are vertical. Okay. Untuck the hands. Have the leg fall off again because that's what it do. And then we rotate the shoulders. This leg is going to really piss me off, guys. That is a really, really faulty joint. It's a bad mechanical design there, Bandai. So it doesn't even want to go. I mean, and it's just plugged into a polycap. That's the worst part. It's like you've got this thing that has to carry the weight of a leg at full extension on a tiny hunk of plastic that's plugged into a polycap. And that's a bad design choice. Just really, really epically bad design choice, Bandai. But, okay, so the whole point of all that was me trying to fix the shoulder that I forgot to fully transform. And now I've got to deal with the whole mess again. So, while I love this kit in its color, and it does have some coolness, it is a very, very fiddly kit design. But this is what I wanted to show off, of course, was the front of the thrusters, or whatever you want to call it, at the front of the wings. So you can see the difference here. So, untransformed wing, properly transformed wing. And then all the mess in between. So, that's it. It has the big, cool beam out front, like so. Let me tilt this up so I don't have to work. This kit is a pain in the butt, guys. I do recommend picking one up at some point, but I do also recommend never transforming it. It is a huge, huge pain, as you've just seen. Lots of fiddly little bits all over the place, but this actually made it more streamlined. I screwed up. First Master Grade Monday of 2017. Yay. So this video has gone on long enough, guys. I hope you've liked it. I hope you appreciate this awesome, awesome kit as much as I do. I feel like I did redeem myself in building it so much better than I did before. But the kit still has all the same flaws. Alright guys, I'll catch you next time. Remember as always, keep on building and to check out all of the other Master Grade reviews and everything else. And I will see you guys next time.